welcome to today's episode of the Beauty Industry Podcast, your online support community for the professional beauty industry, connecting you with educational pieces, innovative industry products, and inspiration from industry experts. I am your host, founding director of Beauty Industry, Tamara Shaw. Today we are providing you insight into what a 5-star business looks like. My guest today is Sofie Gillard, the business owner of Botanica Day Spa in the Intercontinental Hotel in Melbourne. Sofie studied at Ali Lucas Beauty Therapy College, which inspired her to move to London, spending her therapist years working at the Intercontinental on Park Lane. Here, Sofie developed an in-depth understanding about providing 5-star service to clients, including language, service, and demeanour, and she is here today to talk about that experience. Welcoming to the podcast, Sofie Gillard. Sofie, I think you would agree with me in saying that many businesses strive to reach a 5-star level. What, in your opinion, does it mean to be 5-star?
Well, there are a lot of factors to fall under a 5-star category. I think the biggest thing would be customer service.
Yeah.
And just delivering an exceptional experience for the guest. That, to me, means that it's the moment that they call through to the spa, from the moment they step through the door and throughout the whole treatment, and then at the end as well. So keeping that consistent service delivery at all times is crucial.
Yeah. And how does a 5-star business differ from somebody who may be 3-star or 2-star?
Yes, so normally to fall under a 5-star category, there are certain amenities that you do need to offer the guest. Specifically within a hotel industry, you've got pool facilities, a day spa, business centre, things like that. I think how they fall under the 5-star category, again, that's going to be like the customer service.
Yes, yeah.
That's probably the biggest thing, and ratings and things. So
And so your time working in London in one of obviously the most affluent suburbs, being Park Lane of the UK, just share with us how that moulded you as a therapist.
Yeah, so I think once I moved to the UK, working with international guests was the biggest thing for me. I was sort of at a point in Melbourne where I was ready to go up, and I think moving to London, that really showed me the level of service on another level. It's pretty amazing because the spa and beauty industry over in the UK is just incredible.
Yeah.
So working with the different nationalities and from all around the world, that was a big test because you've got your clientele from Dubai. They're quite demanding. They want things now. And then, you've got other clients from around the world as well that have different expectations. So I think it's just learning to work with different clientele on a different level and customizing it to their needs. Did you find it took you some time to find your feet in terms of offering that service? Yes, definitely. I used to think that some of the clientele were quite rude. Yeah. We're very friendly in Australia, and then you sort of go and they're demanding, they want it now. I think it took me a little bit to sort of find my feet with working with different clientele, but once you realise that's just sort of how it is, and it becomes a lot easier. Yeah, good. So,
what's the biggest lesson you've learnt in dealing with a high-end customer?
Yeah, so probably just staying calm. I think the biggest thing is remembering that even though the customer may not be right, they are always right. So just addressing their concerns and hopefully coming to a conclusion that is a positive one at the end. So
amazing. And so in terms of language, we often hear therapists say good, thanks to the client, or I'll be in with you a sec, or just pop up on the bed. What kind of language does a 5-star business provide to the client and others that business would interact with?
Yeah, so language is a huge one for me. If I hear any of that sort of wording towards our clientele, especially because we're dealing with high-end corporates, you know, the leisure guests that travel internationally and from America and Dubai. The biggest language, you know, for a 5-star would be my pleasure, you're welcome. It's just soft, professional wording that isn't probably something that we say in an everyday conversation. Being Australian as well, we're quite slang, so we just need to remember that we're working within that professional environment, and then you're sort of switching on that professionalism at all times.
Amazing. I completely agree with that. Even coming back to working on the cruise ship, so when a guest would greet you and say, how's your day, you would never say good or great. It was always fantastic, amazing, it's been brilliant, how is yours? And I think that it's kind of a similar language, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thinking about your business today, so Botanica Day Spa, just entering into the building here, you're definitely overwhelmed with that level of professionalism and prestige and opulence. What was your vision in deciding to open your own day spa, and how did you achieve that feeling when you walk in the door?
Yeah, so I think when I was looking into opening the business, the thing that popped out to me the most was the space that became available inside the Intercontinental Hotel. And having that background of working in London, I sort of felt like it was meant to be. I'm not a big believer in that, but I am now. And I just wanted to create something that was simple luxury. That was the main inspiration behind the spa. I didn't want anyone to come and feel, you know, like stressed and cluttered. And some spa menus, you've got, you know, a massive list of treatments. I wanted to keep it really simple, and then obviously bring in that luxe as well. It's very calming and soothing.
Incredible. And as business owners, obviously, because it's your business, you put everything into running that, and you know how to treat the clients, so it's very natural for you to provide a 5-star service. How do you make sure that all of your employees and your team are giving the same service to the clients that you are giving as well?
Yeah, so ongoing training workshops that we perform here in the spa. Prior to commencing work, we do spend a lot of one-on-one. I spend a lot of one-on-one time with the girls in particular, and we go through, again, the conversation with the clientele, how to meet and greet. And then throughout a yearly period, we undergo ongoing training workshops where we're making sure that that level of service is consistent throughout the whole year. I think that's one of the biggest things. You know, people are paying a premium price to come to a 5-star day spa. Having that consistent service delivery is crucial at all times.
Absolutely. If there was a business owner who's listening to this and they're looking around their spa thinking, I don't know if I'm 5-star, what are some steps that you would tell them is kind of first importance to things that they should absolutely look at in terms of increasing that star rating? Yeah,
so I think there's different points to look at, whether that's your staff and also the ambience of the spa. So I think looking at, obviously, your presentation is a massive one. We all know that. The presentation of the staff, and maybe just sometimes listen in on how they're communicating with the clients. You might pick up on something that maybe might need to be addressed. With the spa ambience, I come from obviously a hotel background. I've always worked in hotels, and I am quite particular. So I walk through the treatment rooms all the time, and I say to the girls that, you know, the attention to detail needs to be on another level. So there's no tags on your towel, there's no marks on the towels, like everything is immaculate. I say all the time, a client's paying, you know, if you went to a hotel and paid $400 a night and you walked into that hotel room and something was out of place, you wouldn't be happy. So I think that's the biggest thing. And also just the meet and greet on the phone. I think I think a lot of people forget about the phone call, you know, that first point of contact.
Absolutely.
Because that client is going to decide then and there, based on that phone call, whether they're going to book. So there's a few points.
And so your social and digital media, I personally think it actually reflects the business so well in terms of 5-star. How, I know we were speaking earlier about social media, but how do you get that there's a 5-star service and experience in my spa onto an online platform, which you know, you don't get a feeling, but when you're looking through Botanica's Instagram and Facebook, you do feel that it's 5-star, that it's high end. What was your kind of vision, or how do you get that to happen?
Yeah, it's a tricky one. I think the biggest thing was with the website was if you're going to show what your spa is all about, make sure that's what it is.
Yes.
I know, like with our imagery and everything that we use, it's our own imagery and it displays what the spa is all about. I get a lot of clients come through the door and say to me, wow, this place is exactly what it looks like online.
Agree.
And I think that's really important, having crisp, sharp content and not just posting, you know, absolutely anything and everything
for the sake of it.
Yeah, like just make it relevant and try to create that emotional connection through your posts to help draw that client in, because then from there, that's when you're going to start getting that sort of first point of contact, and then hoping that they'll call through. Once they call, then
you've got it down pat because you're already 5-star. Amazing. So incredible tips, Sophie. Thank you so much for sharing them with us today, and just taking the time to chat with us out of your busy appointment schedule. I'm sure our audience will have learnt a lot from today's podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
My absolute pleasure. So if you didn't know already, our Beauty Brunch event hosted by Beauty Industries actually held at Botanica Day Spa, which is here with Sofie in the Intercontinental Melbourne. So if you're wondering what a 5-star business looks like, you'll be able to come and have that experience and get that feeling upon attending the event. But not only that, you'll be able to network with the incredible Sofie and discuss this conversation further with her on the day, as you guys know, August 26th. If you found the conversation inspiring today, make sure you share it with all of your industry colleagues. Give us that 5-star rating and leave us a little review. You know that I love reading them. Until next time, thank you so much for joining. Stay connected. Thank you for tuning in to episode 15 of the Beauty Industry podcast. Next Monday for episode 16, we talk with Olivia Molly Rogers, Miss Universe and Lip Timber Ambassador, all about women's mental health. Be sure to tune in. Until next time, stay connected.